No, it's Michael Sam. We're just doing it's the LocalSupport client meeting. We're starting in a minute, and yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, I've just been going to set up the new meeting page. I am still having no, that's not a relevant one. Go and look at my. Where's it gone? One of these has my local support stuff. Why? Really? I lost it. But yeah, no, those error messages that I pasted in. I forgot what it's called now. Oh no, here it is. Yeah. What did I paste in? Yeah, these ones here. The map should show the opportunity. They're all related to CSS, finding CSS things. But seems to me, I mean, the build is clean, and so I assume it's specific to me. Does that look familiar? That error at all?
No.
No. Okay.
Feels weird.
I mean, I was partly that. We've got music coming in. Sounds like Rachel. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? All right. Good to see you.
Hi, Sam.
Hi. I guess I'll just turn off the screen share so you can see the old. Hello.
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 Hi, hello, Jitesh, and Michael is here. Yes. So yeah. So sorry about last week. Got really busy. Here we are back this week. Actually, I may be able to come and see you in person next week.
Okay.
Which would be nice to catch up, because I know that, I don't know, there's something still, it's sort of almost at arm's length or something, I don't know. Anyway, you guys are well?
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
Excellent. All right. Well, yeah, let's jump into with a reminder for you to reach out to Reading Voluntary Action.
And I got your email, and then I thought I couldn't. I wasn't sure what I was going to ask them.
Okay. Well.
Was it just making contact and?
Well, I think where this came from originally was that I thought Alex pointed us to, they had this map, didn't they?
Yeah.
And so we were going to, although I can't seem to immediately get the map. Gosh, it's I get the map, but. Yeah, you were just going to reach out and ask them, you know, what they, you know, and say, oh, that's a nice map. We're doing our thing with our map. How did you get your map working, kind of thing? I thought was the idea, but I don't know.
Okay, just a general. All right, I will contact them this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were also talking about how maybe this sort of icon thing was something that we might want to use, and so. You know, if these icons that they were using were something they might want to share with us, or you know, other room for collaboration in the future, or anyway. So yeah, I guess I'll maybe put an action out myself to send you a summary with summary to say. I thought I had just moved. Am I in the wrong? Oh, I am. I can do that now. I mean, that's always the danger of having two windows open. That is, in fact, last week's meeting notes, and this is this week's meeting notes. Yeah. So now we have new action items, which is Reading, Y, and Sam. Yes, I sort of feel that maybe we should be using a different system. Anyway, so we talked about that. I think we have the new icons and whatever all in the repos. I don't know that have they just made it to develop? Michael, I'll go and just load. We've got the new logos up. I don't know that we have. Yeah. Oh no, it is. It is. Yeah, that's on develop. So yes, that's the new logo there that doesn't have the beta in it.
Okay.
So that's up, and that will be making. I don't think we've got that on production yet, but that will make its way over.
But I think the VAH logos hasn't been incorporated yet.
No.
I mean, it's in the repo, but it hasn't been incorporated yet.
Repo, so we'll get to that. So it's now so the new logo page that's working across. That's sort of done. They're in the repo, but so we've got a task there, which is to I'll just put something there, like look up new It's VHC logo. Yes, here we go. I guess Alex is not in the office today?
Here now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
I'm alright, you?
Mm-hmm. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just going through the outstanding action items. We talked the other week about doing a fab icon for the site.
Did I not do it? No, I didn't. I will do it now.
Great. Great. Moving on, I think the week before last, you were talking, Rachel, about Time Bank.
Yeah, and I saw your email you'd forwarded on.
Yeah, so I kind of sort of signed up for that with the idea that I might just start finding out some more information. And they said, "Oh, hello, thank you for signing up. Would you like to come in for an interview to talk about the Time Bank?" And I was like, sort of, well, it's sort of a bit of a non-starter for me, really.
I imagine if it's that much involved in signing up, it's not something we can easily link to, is it?
I mean, I think in that context, I think if you want to give them a ring to sort of talk about data share, but it seems like yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I would maybe we'll leave that as an open thing for you if you want to contact them. Of course, there's other things going on with the forum and so on. So yeah, we do now have a feature for also creating the new user account for additional admins of orgs, and that's being worked on. Michael and Marion have been on that, and I did a reminding, and let's get that out of the way. Okay, so oops, and I haven't. So here I've just got the so the time banking thing. I guess we can skip over for the moment, unless there's any.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah, move that on.
Yeah. Now, so you sent us some more. But both Michael and I had looked at this stuff related to the VCS forum. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we didn't follow it precisely, and we were looking forward to discussing it with you.
Okay.
But yeah, so you had a meeting with them, and I'm now struggling to find your. Yeah, because you'd sent.
Says meeting with forum members is the name of
the. If you have it to hand, Michael, do you know which email address it was sent?
I sent you Agile Ventures, I think.
Yeah. I found it. Yep. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, tell us more, Rachel.
Well, the first time it was mentioned, I think I mentioned before, just in passing at the end of the meeting. So the first lot of potential things were from my initial thoughts following that meeting. I think we looked at it last time. And then further down was after I'd spoken with Russell and Linda about what they were looking for from it. So there were some additional things that they said, some of which I thought were less useful than others. But I just thought it'd be useful to find out from you, are these things really complicated and it will take ages, or are some of them simple? Because then I could go back to them, because at the moment it's just an idea. I don't know whether I'll go through with it or not.
Yeah.
If I had an idea about these sort of features, are they simple or complicated? I could maybe go back and put it to them about how easy it would be able to do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I look at this one about the forum map, I mean, one could have a category. You know, we have existing categories, so we could add to that categories that they would be, you know, a forum member or whatever, as sort of a quick way of getting in there, and then basically we would have a, you know, you could, like in the same way that as we can currently do we can kind of just see all of the ones related to health. We could see all of the ones related to forum members, and then that would create kind of a page that you could go to that would be that category, that would be that thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that would be a quick way of having a view of those members. But I don't know, are you envisaging, you'd like, say, another button on the navigation bar that would say, Harrow Forum or what have you, and then you click on that and it would give you the page specifically for them?
I think that's what I was seeing, although then one of the further down comments was somebody was saying, actually, I don't know if they'd want all the former members public. So I think that's something I need to, if I do want to go ahead with it, decide. So it's really just getting an idea of...
I'm in a meeting, you can watch as well. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I came to the forum that time before, there was one woman who was particularly, I think that they deal with hate crimes, and so, they don't want their records, like their address or contact details, made publicly available. Although, of course, with our system, for any individual thing, only the information as specified by the individual group is made public. So, but yes, it's a sensitive area.
Yeah.
But that could also be a private page that's only visible to those particular members that we've identified as being from the forum, and then that becomes more complex. But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I just go to I did tick box to become a forum member. So yeah,
that could be under your category, but I think
it sounds like you'd like to make it at the. Well, it's interesting. Is being a forum member something that the organisation is a member or the person is a member?
The organisation will be a member.
Yeah.
And they would nominate a person who would have voting rights on behalf of that organisation. But really, the organisation becomes a member rather than the individual.
Right.
But there's two options. The first one I think we've almost covered, haven't we, about it automatically shows or doesn't show, whatever we decide with the map. But I think what's people will want is it to be verified, because I think the idea is that at the moment the membership of the forum isn't very structured, and the plan is to make it more structured so there would be a membership process. So I think realistically they would be wanting option B. That once somebody applies to be a member of the forum, it has to be verified before it goes live. So I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the first instance, we can always put a data thing on the end, and it can be done, from by a dev in the first instance, and then it could become, an approve and reject thing. But yeah, again, you can. Yeah, I think you're getting a sense of how the more complex the process, then the longer it takes for us to, make it happen.
Yeah.
You've got here creating a forum administrator. That in principle, given that we have information about who's in the forum, I mean, that's not so dissimilar from the new kind of site administrator thing that we're creating for Gutesh. Emailing the forum members, again, setting up, this is a question about mail to integration and so on. I mean, the categories thing we've got is something that we're working on. That's kind of next, although it's not being actively worked on at the moment. Right, this is what you're saying about named organisation representative, contact details, emailing subsets, forum map accessible and to forum members only. Yes. I mean, it sounds like you've got another round kind of interacting with the forum to work out what it is that they would actually kind of really want, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, they might turn around and say, actually, we don't want it at all.
Yeah.
But I thought if I sort of run it past you guys, if things look difficult or simple.
Yeah, I don't know if Michael comment. No, they don't sound hugely complex. What do you think, Michael?
Uh, they don't sound that complex, but they'll take some time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just how much you want at one iteration, what's the smallest thing, and
Yeah.
that would make sense.
And kind of also like trying to work out, what's the simplest change that can deliver some piece of value that then validates that it is of value before doing, other things. And I guess we're under-resourced at the moment. I mean, I'm hoping to get more people involved and also even create more time for me to be doing things on all of this. But so for example, Jitesh is waiting for wants this, maintain the position of directory listing, but that's not started yet. I mean, I think actually there's things that could be the next thing that we worked on, but we've kind of, I don't know if I talked about this, I sort of put that in as high priority above. I guess we've got what's I guess it's the categories has been started, but John's then it's kind of there in a many restarts. But yeah, but of course any it's any new features for the forum are then do they come in ahead of things like removing the Google form, put bar to stay on the organization review pages, displaying the categories in 3 columns. Yeah, so it's all but I don't. None of the things in there sound fundamentally more complex than any of the other things being worked on at present.
Mm. It's just where it would fit in our priorities, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the order of doing things, and we're not. I mean, this is partly. I mean, I think Michael and Marion are making good progress. They're slowed down by me at the moment. But I had a very busy week last week. I should be coming out of the woods now. Fingers crossed. Yes. So, but is that? Are you getting the information that you need from us to move forward on this? Or?
Yeah, I'll go back to them and see what they think.
Yes, good show. Okay, so I guess I'm not sure that was a note from 2 weeks ago about adding a second org admin. Sure. I mean, it comes back to the usual review. I have now. We've pulled in the pull request. Michael, I pulled in your yeah. So we're now set up to allow the propose and edit thing is on develop, and I've also pushed it onto staging. Although staging doesn't look as nice. I guess. Do we need to review the functionality again, or are you just happy for us to push the propose and edit functionality that you've seen before? Happy to put that out, Rachel?
Yeah, I think it was fine how it was.
Yeah, because you saw it on a Michael or Marion server, but yeah, we get that and so on. I guess I will check it offline before later today before. Hopefully that should be in production for you later today.
Okay.
And we can do a review of that. And I guess I think I merged. Did I merge in? So that yeah, I guess I'm having trouble. I guess so. We've got the Marion has that pull request that I was reviewing yesterday. That's the one. It kind of creates a site, a different kind of admin that the kind of that Jitesh would be using.
Yeah, it'd be.
Well, go on. That pull request that you just pulled in, I think, renames the admin to a super admin.
Right.
As Rachel had suggested.
Right.
I'm working on a separate. Me and Marion are working on one that's not actually issued as a pull request yet, but I think I have it locally and seems to be working.
Okay.
To allow a site admin.
To create a new kind of. Do we have that was the thing as I was reviewing this, is right. So this is about we're going to change admin to super admin.
Yeah.
And we have already the concept of an org admin. What's the name for the person who would be in the role that Jitesh is in?
Site admin?
Site admin.
Ability to propose edits. But
right, ability to propose edits. Okay, it's
to non-public fields, so he can see like
So it's
their address and stuff.
okay, and yeah, so that's what I was reviewing this morning. So the site admin, and it's not the ability to edit all of them; it's the ability to propose edits
To all fields, or whatever.
all fields of an org. So it implies that they can see all fields, including private.
Yeah.
And then we have, which is distinct from an ordinary user. So we have ordinary user who can propose edits to public fields of orgs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So I think this is a good. Rachel did it. This terminology and what they should be doing make sense.
Yes. Yeah.
It's yeah. I kind of yes. I kind of it makes me want to kind of break these things up into separate permissions and then allow roles to be created. But that's a separate thing that I'll talk about with Michael. But yes. So yeah, and that's so you're separate now. Let's say Michael, not yet in a pull request. You're working on the site admin thing. So okay.
Yeah, I potentially have it done, but
Yeah, I'll look forward to the pull request and try and make sure you get a very quick and early review on it. Cool. Yes. So that's where we are in that regard, and that is so. When we end up with these things, so this was one of Rose's students who basically disappeared. We should question what we should. So this was just like that change to this. I guess I need to come through here so this one here, this ability for non-admins to propose organizational edits, that's the one that is finished and potentially we will deploy later today. So I'm going to click finish on that and I'll click deliver on that when we deploy it. Again, John hasn't been on that for a while. I'm still not seeing any, the search engine optimization has been deployed. I've still not seen yet any, like we're not getting the thing that we're getting from like Agile Ventures. Absolutely, this is the layout that we want, and it gets that from having, as I understand it, a site XML document and not there. Maybe I'll have to look at that again. But anyway, we're still not getting the search engine optimization. So there's the overarching action item for me there is is reading the ultimate stack of stuff. And follow up with there. I mean, I think it may just be a question of time with Google. But it's one of the other things is like, is it a question of time, or is it that because I've made some subtle error and we just won't know before having to wait and so on? So right, and so this is the one now that you're working on with Marianne, Michael. This is So add a user who can propose edits to non-public fields, and other things being equal. Once that's done, the next thing to start off is this maintain the position in the directory listing that Jitesh is interested in, and then and so on and so forth. Does that ordering sounds reasonable at the moment?
Sounds good, yeah.
I can sense that I'm sure Jitesh would like both of these pieces of functionality several weeks ago. So my apologies that it's not coming on faster, and that's not my fault. Marianne and Michael have been making good progress on it. And slowed down by me. Yes, but I think, Jitesh, were you also interested in trying to get set up with the development of the system?
I am actually, yes, very much indeed. I'd like to.
Yes, I mean, have you? Are you familiar with Git?
Sorry, with what?
With Git and Git, the Git, the version.
I'm becoming a little bit familiar with it.
Yes.
I've been looking at various things, Git and Ruby on Rails and so on. But it's there's a whole stack of things to understand and learn.
There certainly are. There certainly are. Yes. Have you come online and joined one of Michael and Marion's pair programming sessions just to observe their?
No.
Yes. I mean, that's something that is made possible with the whole Google Hangouts, and
Right.
I mean, you're in the you're in the local support Slack channel.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So I mean, for example, if you're hanging out there, usually it's evening our time, but for example here, I guess it's actually quite late our time. But you can see, for example, that would have been on February the 7th last week, a pair programming session with Marion and Myrtle. Yeah, that's probably a bit too late. But you can watch the videos of those sessions if you're interested to see how it all works.
Yes,
So,
I think I'll probably do that. Yes.
yeah, if you go to local support, it's got a tab with the videos. And
Yes.
so, for example, see this one here. Yeah, there you go. Pair programming on local support, and you can see, watch a video of the process taking place.
Right.
Yeah, or if it's somewhere you want to try and get set up on the stack, the thing to do on GitHub would be, you can see here it says fork. You click fork in GitHub, and that will get you a copy of the code that you can then pull down locally into your machine, and you can try and get it, build and run it locally on your machine.
Right. I think I've managed to get a copy, but I'm not sure what I did exactly, whether I did. But I have got a copy.
Yeah.
On my machine.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage. I mean, what you might try and do is try and work out a time, either with myself or with Michael or one of the other local support developers, and
Right.
try, set up a pair programming session where we help you get set up with.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if Michael, do you have any free time today?
No, not really. I mean, not until the evening.
No. Yeah. So I would say, the thing. I don't know about. But out of interest, what kind of computer have you got? You got a Windows machine or a Mac or a?
I've got a Windows machine.
Yeah. It's Windows is challenging in all sorts of ways. My condolences, by the way. Yes. And then can I ask which version of Windows that you have?
I've got two actually. I've got a Vista and I've got a Windows 8.
Okay. Right. Yes. I think Windows 7 is probably the path of least resistance. Okay. Yes. Well, I'd say well, which is worse, Vista or 8? I don't know. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, but I guess we tend to have Slack. I'd recommend installing the desktop client of Slack.
Right.
And then basically having it so that you're observing what's going on in the chat. You can see. I mean, I've got some, like, for example, James Kemp just joined, and he's an ex-Makers student who's also interested in getting set up with the project. So we could try and work out a session where we get a few of you together and try and get you all set up with the code base.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, I would say yes. I mean, I'll also be coming down to I plan to come to your office, the .ph office in person next Thursday. You have your two Windows machines. Is one of them a laptop?
They're both laptops.
They're both laptops. Okay. So I mean, maybe that's something we could spend some time on next Thursday.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah, and do that in person. We'll see. If I can work out a time that we can do it before then. But that I think when it's a Windows machine, it might be difficult to do it online. But, yeah. Okay. So going back to we've generated some new action items, old action items, which are just all big things. I'm going to have a couple of days off next week, and look into those. Is there anything else that we need to cover today?
I know Alex went to that meeting on Monday, but he's disappeared out of the office. I'll just see if he's just outside. Hold on a second.
Not sure. Might followed. That is it. As in Alex has disappeared out of the office.
Yeah, he's just going to come back in. So he went to that meeting. Just the other thing was, so JIT has worked through that list of organisations with no information. So that's pretty much done. So I asked for a list of all the organisations that don't have email addresses.
Right.
If that could be sent over.
Yeah.
And
That's. I could probably. I thought we'd sent that to you before. What is that?
I think previously you'd sent me a list of organisations with no information.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you did send it with no email addresses. I don't.
Yeah. Why am I not working this?
Actually, Alex is just here. Do you want to?
Yeah, Alex, do you want to talk about? Sorry, you went to a meeting on Monday.
Yeah. Well, the long and short of it really is that CVS is it's not high priority for them.
No, fair enough.
It's not. It's especially with all the cuts, they would.
Especially the what, sorry? Especially.
There's a lot of cuts in,
Oh yeah, no. What you're saying is nobody's particularly got money to spend on directories of stuff.
The one that did seem interesting was around Kensington and Chelsea, but they said actually it's essentially duplicating. It's duplicating what they would usually do on a national scale,
right.
And they weren't really sure of the local value as such.
Duplicating what Chelsea and Kensington would do on that.
So essentially, with the volunteering,
yeah.
So they would usually just upload to do it or have people
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Yes.
They didn't really recognise how locally
yes.
that will make a difference because the nationals will always have the money to actually advertise their volunteer opportunities. By making it sort of local, they still have the option to go local on both sites. So they were thinking, well, if we have things to invest into this, and we'd have another thing to put volunteer opportunities on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're saying that at the moment the VA.
Oh, have we lost you?
I think we've lost you, Sam.
The nationwide services like do it.
Yeah.
And so they're not, and that's they're having to do work to do that. And
Yeah.
Particularly interested in adding additional work to also register them locally for some intangible benefit which they're not sure of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yes, indeed. Why on earth would they want to do that? Yes, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Did we ever get anywhere on syndication? I mean, I thought
we'd do it.
So that we would somehow get.
We're kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for the release of their new site, which seems to be done in Angular, out of interest. For that to be done and deployed, and then we can get back to them and ask them what's like
in the process. I think the new site is live, but they're still doing work on it. So.
I mean, I think it's worth contacting them again in a couple of weeks. What I guess in the best case, they'll have their new site and they'll be able to provide a more reliable data stream. At least with their old technology and old stack or their old political / logistical setup, is they can't guarantee the data. They basically say you can have a random amount of data with random availability. So it doesn't lead to a very sublime user experience. But I mean, the other approach would be to take on being the Harrow Volunteer Centre. At the moment, Steve's group is, I guess, for no money, is kind of off their own backs, running the Harrow Volunteer Centre, which means being responsible for quite close and tight integration with DoIT.
So DoIT has recently changed, which basically gives organisations their own
Indeed, and I've drawn diagrams as to the process. That was the meeting that we went and had down with Steve, and I sat down with I forget Ramesh, and drew detailed diagrams of how they're moving from the old setup to the new setup. But even with that change, there's still work for the volunteer centre to do. In the volunteer centre now, although they don't have to accept incoming requests from the organisations to have volunteer opportunities uploaded, the volunteer centre still needs to be the broker between putting the individuals in contact with the organisations.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and some organisations are going to continue to want another organisation to upload it for them anyway.
Yes, although I think the argument was that functionality is ultimately being removed. But yes, there's still some people who are going to want that to happen. But I guess if VAH was the volunteer centre, then we would have a closer relationship with Do It. We could get more involved in that whole process, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it does. I mean, the interesting. I mean, since Do It has a nationwide strategy for volunteering, it's going to be difficult to convince anybody that they should replicate the effort they're already putting into Do It for any other kind of system. I mean, the interesting thing about Do It.
It wasn't only around for volunteering though. So I did mention, because volunteering is just.
Oh, it's one of the. Yeah, there's also the directories and so on. Yes, go on.
So, yeah, essentially the idea of having a list of local organisations is sort of appealing to them. The only issue for them would be that actually the organisations that are already engaged with their sector, with the sector or with voluntary services, essentially would already be engaged with them.
Right.
So it was what were they saying? So it was almost like they've got plenty of groups, they know of plenty of groups.
Yes.
The hidden ones are probably almost like that isolation thing. Those people are isolated for a reason.
Right.
So either they're inactive or so. Essentially, why would we need to contact them, or are we gonna? Why would we need to contact them?
Yeah.
And if we are contacting them, is that just going to be more work for us in terms of either volunteer management or stuff like that, or increase of services?
Yes. No, that's very interesting.
But then,
yes,
on the other side, they said, if you needed a list or a place to go to for those organisations, there isn't one that exists. So, thereby meaning that actually you had that point, by creating sort of the same thing, Kensington and Chelsea, you would have that point of call for those people who want that list or an advisory website or whatever it is, a directory essentially.
Right. I mean, and clearly, Reading Voluntary Action were, a lot felt the need to create their own local map of different services, and they're providing it for people to see.
And quite a few CVSs do seem to have that. Not maybe the majority, but there are others that we've looked at in the past.
And this was a volunteer centre, not a CVS as well.
Okay. Right.
But there was, I mean, all the rest of them were like, no, it's not priority at the moment at all.
Yes. Yes. I mean, right. It's like the directory could be useful, but yeah. I mean, I guess in terms of whatever the mission of the VCS is to kind of support the voluntary sector entities in their local area, right? And what the thing you're saying there, Alex, is they're saying like, well, we kind of know who the main ones are, and we're in regular contact with them, and we're doing our best to support them.
Well,
go on.
But that's coming from a volunteer centre.
Yes.
And a volunteer centre has a very different remit to a CVS, which is Council for Voluntary Services.
Okay.
So I think the Council for Voluntary Services would have more of an interest in developing a community network so they can reach to as many groups as possible. The volunteer centre's aim would be around promoting, enhancing volunteering and maybe some employment work as well.
Right.
I think it's two different audiences.
Okay, no, fair enough. Right.
So, hence why I wasn't like, oh, this is bad news. I thought, well, this is coming from a very wealthy borough and a volunteer centre, so...
And so that makes you think that the focus should be less on the volunteer side and more on the directory side?
Well, I think it's always going to be hard to replicate what Do It are doing. And volunteering, I think the extra pool for bringing volunteers into a site would have to be more than just volunteer opportunities. You might have to add events, everything else, to actually make it a bit of a more of a holistic site.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I guess it comes back to what's what is VAH trying to achieve in the long run with this. I think that I think you want, Rachel, you want to make the site attractive and useful for in the first instance the different organisations in Harrow, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think the original thing was around the directory. That was the first thing, because it is that constant. We get the calls. Can you give me a list of charities, or I want a charity that
right.
So that was the original.
Right, and are you now able? Are you now? Presumably, you still occasionally get those calls.
Yeah. I mean, I've referred this website to a number of people. I know other people have referred it on. I haven't really had much feedback about how useful it is.
But at least you're able to say, oh, check this out, and you don't have to kind of like go and dig up a different list. So it's you can feel positive in terms of delivering that.
Do we have any sort of Google Analytics on the site?
I don't know. Do we have any Google Analytics on the site, Michael?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
No.
I feel like we were supposed to do that at some point. But
I guess that would be useful to know, wouldn't it?
But at least how many people, what the footfall on the site is. We do have so we have a chore there for adding that. Maybe we could bring that higher in the priority list and try and get that sorted out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how people get onto the site.
Yes.
I find the Google Analytics, when I first put it on a site, it gets a bit addictive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was, I guess...
Somebody looking at us from Russia, or...
we were talking about doing it, and I think then we found this thing with people talking about it being, Google Analytics being very intrusive. But
the other thing with analytics is we'll have to update the cookie policy.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's something...
Google Analytics will bring a bunch of cookies in with it.
Yeah, yes. Yes, I mean, I guess it feels to me in some ways that the key thing is outreach to the organisations to find out what their needs are. I mean, I presume that you're, as a sort of matter of course, Rachel, you sort of talk to various different organisations in the borough, and so you get a sense from them about what their sources of pain are and what they want, and so on and so forth. Yeah,
I mean, obviously we take it out, we tell people about it, and it came up at the last forum, and I think the key advantage of it is having all the organisations in one place. I think the challenge is getting people to update their information. It's really useful having Jit here to sort of somebody just to go through and help me get up to date, because we've discovered quite a few that are been removed from the Charity Commission website, and by getting people's email addresses on, at least we can contact them easily. That's been really helpful.
Yes, I mean, I also imagine that at some level the site is useful for you internally, just that when you use it to sort of support your own everyday work in terms of when you need to look up the contact details of a charity, you're doing it perhaps through HCN rather than looking through the old spreadsheets, which is what you had originally.
Yeah, no, it's useful to find specific organisations. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting conversation to have. I guess I'm tempted to wrap us up there and get on with doing some of these things on the action items, and then maybe see you in person next week, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. All right. Well, unless anybody's got anything else, yeah, maybe we'll leave that there for the group meeting. Michael, maybe you and I can just talk for a couple of minutes and then hang out just to coordinate.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jitesh, Rachel, and Alex, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, yes, is there anything that we need to coordinate, Michael?
No, not really. I mean, just did you pull in Marion's pull request yet, or I saw something go by?
I did not. I just.
Oh, okay. You pushed it to staging.
Well, I did push the. I pushed
the other one.
The previous.
Staging.
The proposing edits thing to staging, and I guess I will go ahead and I'll finish doing a test there, and I'll push that to production. And I made some comments on this admin to super admin, but I think that none of them are reasons for not, for not pushing the pull request through. I had thought that I was seeing an inconsistency in the way that we might be naming things, but now that we've had this conversation about this, and that seems to be clear, I see this big refactoring towards moving towards a permission-based system, but that's a separate thing.
I tried to upgrade to Rails 4.2. Because we'll need to do that by the summer.
Okay.
When Rails 5 comes out.
And
we have to upgrade Devise.
Okay.
Which is and then we have to upgrade Devise Invitable. Which will invalidate previous invitations unless we set a certain
Okay, but I think if the invitations have been sitting in the boxes for over a week anyway, it's
yeah,
we don't have to worry about. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll coordinate that with that. When Rachel's sending out her invitations on that, which yeah. Okay. Yes. Although that's interesting there thinking, I think Rachel has, she's had various hopes for getting other boroughs to use the system. It's an interesting question about the longer term direction of the project.
They were saying that the other boroughs didn't want to do it, right?
Well, I think it was in the
volunteer centers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Alex seemed to be saying about there was a volunteer center, the volunteer center in this one borough, and maybe he was at a meeting of. I think it was at BCS. Maybe he was at a meeting of volunteer centers rather than a meeting of the other boroughs. But what the volunteer centers are sort of saying is, well, they're not looking to have a local solution as well as the national solution, which people have to do at organization. So, yes. Right. So I think that means that they're, going to be deprioritizing changes to the volunteer functionality. Indeed. Okay. Well, I think I'll just get on and try and do my little bits and pieces here to make sure that I'm not slowing you guys down, really.
All right.
And what is this? Friday tomorrow. Yeah, and I think I'm not going to be able to retrospect tomorrow. But yeah, there are a few more people knocking around. I hope you don't mind me trying to send some of them your way to see if they might become people who will get involved and interested in local support. Did James Kemp speak to you any further after the Scrum yesterday?
Yeah, I spoke to him. We resolved his environmental variables issue.
Oh, well done.
And he said he might. I told him that probably the weekend is the best time.
Okay, that's fair enough.
If you wanted to work on local support, given
The time difference.
the time difference.
Yeah.
So I had him join the local support scrum in Slack.
Yeah.
So.
You mean the you had him join the channel?
Yeah, the channel.
Yeah. Cool. Great. Nice one.
All right.
All right. I'll catch up with you probably early next week.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Bye for now.